Hey guys, what is going on? With the first stage of the major finished, obviously people know NiP went 3-0, beating Astralis in quite incredible fashion, quite a few overtimes in this game, but Lekr0's was the hard hitter for NiP, dropping 50 frags. So I thought I'd break down some of my favourite rounds from him, some of the rounds I found quite interesting, and really just talk about what he did. Obviously the in-game leader for the team as well, so I'll talk about a couple of tactical things such as this first round here, but just going to be a very simple A execute. Very on in the round, you can see there's only a few seconds have passed into this one, and there's going to be throwing all this smokes, the standard kind of setup, a few extra Molotovs you probably wouldn't see in your usual pugs. Now the thing I find interesting about this one, or the first thing I find interesting, is Dennis's positioning compared to the rest of the team. A long way ahead of the rest of, obviously, his teammates being able to trade him. Lekr0's got a Molotov out, he's not really looking to fight with Dennis. Same thing with Get Right, has a flash out, he's not really looking to peek either. So what's Dennis doing right now? Well, the thing with these very early A executes is that as these smokes are landing, you can see actually the jungle smoke hasn't even landed yet from NiP, is the CTs are going to pull out their counter utility, throw Molotovs or whatever towards the ramp position, and obviously try and delay this take. So Dennis going before the utility even pops is obviously just him trying to catch these players off, trying to throw Molotovs or whatever towards the ramp position, or just trying to catch players off guard. And even though he goes down without seeing anyone, because Astralis actually don't throw much counter utility here, is he gets the information from Lekr0. And this is important. So the other thing we didn't see, because I'm too slow at moving things around, is that little line there and that Molotov towards bench where Glaive's coming out. And this is a very important thing when hitting the A site. Because if the CTs are running a setup such as this one, you can see Dupree obviously just went down in the sandwich area. Magisk is still alive on the A site. So obviously Astralis are very committed to this. And if these players don't get a lot of kills, it becomes almost impossible for the retake to come in. So it's unsurprising that Glaive's going to push this smoke to try and fight with his two teammates already on the site. So that Molotov makes Lekr0's job a lot easier onto this fight. You can see it's actually a little bit messy, but the Molotov gets the job done for him. That's actually quite a powerful one, even if you're just pugging. I mean, we've all seen it, we've probably all done it ourselves, just running through that smoke with the flash, trying to catch the players off, running out this ramp position. So that's actually a really powerful Molotov I'd recommend throwing in quite often. And the last thing he does is plant the bomb before the smokes disappear, because that's very important. If those smokes don't disappear, well, this is going to happen. You can see it's actually the exact same round, basically, NiP are trying to run. Dennis is going to run out nice and early, just as we saw before. It's basically identical. One difference is this time Astralis are playing a retake setup. So, as you can see on your map right now, Dennis is going to get flashed. We get a counter utility. He's going to get flashed right there. Keep running. He's doing his job. He's going out nice and early. He finds no information. The smoke in their face. Counter flashes coming out from Astralis. Really slow things down. They are using their utility, but obviously they're nice and safe. They're behind these smokes. It's very hard for NiP to find any kills. Device boosted in spawn over that bin. Gets a first kill into forest. And once this happens, everything stagnates right down from NiP. All the smokes have faded. You can see on the map there's only one left about to fade there. And there's way too many angles for NiP to try and cross now with the utility they have. 2 flashes on Dennis and 2 nades. No smokes or Molotovs to block up any of these choke points. And you see, they actually make the right decision here. The best of a worse or best of a bad situation. They're going to try and push up here. Rez and Lekr0 trying to clear out jungle and connector, because if they can get control of this, they can potentially plant the bomb. Glaive does a good job of delaying, actually smoking himself off, making it very difficult for him to get control of this kind of position. And yeah, these players are going to really be struggling, especially once Rez goes down. Lekr0 leaves him, and that's when he goes down. He's going to come back, try and plant the bomb, but you can see way too many different angles. Glaive pushes through his own smoke. The easiest kill of his entire career onto Lekr0 playing the bomb. And that's the struggle with this execute. If you don't get those openers, you don't go nice and fast and plant that bomb with the smoke off. Too many angles to check. You've used your utility to try and cross or get control of any of these areas of the map, and you're basically going to lose and just get collapsed onto, such as NiP did here. Now, one thing Lekr0 has done is he's put himself in that second or third player, or even fourth player into the bomb site, which is normally where you put someone maybe such as Cold0, who you want clutching, a little bit more of a passive player. But Lekr0 can be very aggressive. We know he has that excellent first bullet accuracy, probably one of the most deadly deagles in the game at the moment. But he's going to be very aggressive, especially in this B execute here. He's going to be the guy throwing all that utility, but he almost just accelerates past his teammates in some scenarios, such as this one here. Obviously, it's not very happy for NiP because they're walking into a stack, but this Molotov here I really like. Obviously, Lekr0 throwing the utility, but his teammates all go down, but he keeps moving right now. He's not playing passive, waiting for Astralis to give him something. He wants to take these fights, and he wants to win these duels. Obviously, everyone else has gone down for him right now because it all just collapsed apparently, but I just love how he throws this Molotov obviously backboards here. You can see it's probably like quite common, especially again in this scenario where they're playing very on the B site and maybe someone wants to rotate and help their teammates out. they could jump through this smoke thrown by NiP into this Molotov, which is well placed by Lekr0. So again, I really like the execute they're throwing, some of the timings, the stuff they're doing. Obviously running into a stack isn't really good, but Lekr0 obviously just walking straight past his teammates, they all die, so that's probably not too difficult in this scenario, but he's prepared to get behind these back pillars, a very important position to control as the T side, because if you've got a CT jiggling here and you don't control that position, you're going to be struggling. Unfortunately, VM's got way too many players to deal with, finds Glaive, but eventually gets taken out by Device, the AWP. But I still like the execute, still like the idea of that utility at the back of the site, and I just love how he's prepared to get very aggressive afterwards, where some players like sit in that apartments, try and play a little bit slower. So if you're a more aggressive player, you want to try and get in the face of the opponents, maybe check out some Lekr0 demos. As I said, he's much more aggressive, so that's the playstyle you want to go with. Maybe check out some of these different players, as opposed to someone like Cold0 who'd be a little bit more passive in this scenario. Just different playstyles, really. Another round we're going to look at from NiP, the last one in regulation, is going to be just a very simple B split, with the B split basically just being Lekr0. Top mid smoke basically just denies information, obviously, of how many players are out here towards middle. No one's going to cross. It's going to be Lekr0 pushing this smoke, finding Device in this middle area. You can see just this lack of information, obviously a bit of luck with the timing onto Device, is just going to net him a kill. He's going to pull Dupree away. He's not really sure where to go. Zipex anyone on the B site. He gets overwhelmed. And honestly, just a very simple round. Knowing your angles as you walk up short, you're exposed to a connector when passing these bricks. Simple crosshair placement. Besides that, just 2 kills, impactful kills, especially that first one to Device. And yeah, really it's just that simple. Now for this next round, I'm actually going to use my other demo viewer. It's called Rewind. If you want to know more about it, just Google Rewind demo viewer. Unfortunately, it's not publicly available, but what it does allow me to do is focus on the Molotovs on the map at once, which unfortunately isn't a feature within the game itself. So I'm going to be using it just for this round. I know it's not quite as aesthetically pleasing as the actual in-game viewing. However, we saw Lekr0 win that first duel onto Device. Obviously, if you win that AWP battle, you're in a great position to win the round overall. But what it does also allow NiP to do is get this mid control and allow themselves to go into this A split. And it's the utility usage or used when they go for this A split that I really enjoy, and I love how Lekr0 basically ends up being the beneficiary of it all, because they clear out basically all of the A site. Lekr0 has to post on just one angle and finds himself some really easy kills. So I'm just going to let this one play out to start off with, and I'm going to talk about where the utility was thrown by NiP, really forcing all the rotations through one position from Astralis, and as I said, just feeding them into Lekr0. He gets all the information and he can just clean them up with this much more powerful weapon. So you can see CT peek comes in, he's going to find that first player. That's because with the utility thrown right now, I'll just let it fast forward a little bit more, is he knows it's basically the one position where these players could be playing from. Obviously, we think about the map, no one could be triple box because these players in connector would have seen them hiding behind. So where can they play from? They can be the rotator, such as Zipex, who just got taken out in CT. They could be default box, where Magisk was, or firebox, or unders. Unders gets Molotov, default gets Molotov. So that's everywhere on the actual A side itself. I guess technically sandwich, but again, numbers game, that's actually quite unlikely at this stage in the round. Other utility thrown is towards short here, which Dupree can peek behind because the Molotov probably should have been a little bit deeper from Forest. And we'll see that in a second here, if I can find it. So it's going to be here. So you could have just maybe run a little bit forward and it would have cut off Dupree a little bit better. The other Molotovs, as I already stated, were Rez taking out default, which Magisk actually ends up Molotoving off himself. Dennis stopping any rotations through jungle. And the last one's going to be Get Right. And this is actually quite a cheeky one from Get Right. You can see right here, line himself off the crack, run forward. And that one actually goes in towards under. So without him having to peek out jungle, you can get that Molotov down. And they're going to all just end up collapsing here onto the A site. So I just love the fact that those 4 Molotovs being up basically makes Lekr0 knows no one can be in jungle. No one's going to be peeking from short. We've mollied off default and unders. All you have to do is take out CT and post on that angle. Obviously, they work out where Magisk is because he drops the smoke on the Molotov they threw. But basically, Lekr0 just the beneficiary of good Molotov usage into this one, making the A split very thorough for NiP, and just capitalizing on the fact they have mid control and also a man advantage. And even though Astralis rotated Zipex over here, they knew exactly where he had to be because of the utility used. So just a round I really love overall from NiP, and Lekr0, as I said, the beneficiary of it with 3 nice kills. With the CT side, I won't focus on it too much, as he does hold the B apartments, and I recently made a video about Zipex holding the B apartments, a little bit more in depth. It's a full video just about that, so if you want to check that out, top right corner. But I will cover a couple of impactful rounds from Lekr0, and he is more aggressive at playing this kind of position, as opposed to someone like Zipex, you're going to see right here. The utility usage I quite like, especially the fact that he has his smoke here. He waits, no one's coming out, and then he's going to smoke off that entrance before getting flashed off. And it is quite aggressive right now, this peak nice and wide from him, but he catches the players jumping off. Obviously also understanding he smoked off that entrance, there's no one really going to be peeking from there. They're going to force basically off the balcony or trying to walk through that smoke. It's obviously playing on the fact that he could have an advantage trying to catch these players falling off, and again, more aggressive than some other players like to play it. However, you can see there's 2 players in midair. He's going to find both of them. Incredibly impactful kills, and at this point, it makes sense to be peeking. Obviously, Forest is taking the fight onto Zipex, and he's again got an easy 3rd kill. So very aggressive, using these pillars quite well to adjust his positioning, obviously hiding behind it once he was flashed off. And that's just a more aggressive way, but one you can definitely use when defending these apartments. I love the way he uses that pillar to swing and change his angle constantly. And obviously that smoke on the end of the apartments is one you can use quite often, especially if the T side does take an aggressive approach towards this apartment here. It's a good way of denying information from them, making it difficult for them to get out towards Van and really attacking this side at all. Because you think about where that smoke lands, you're going to be smoking off both that window and also the entrance, which we just saw Lekro get a kill from. And again here, we're going to see Lekro obviously understand the angles involved with the B apartments. Got a nice strong angle towards window, obviously getting information anyone's going to cross. And as soon as someone does, he just adjusts himself to control this balcony area where the players could be coming out of. And again, just using these pillars and the bench area in this scenario to really alternate the angle he's playing. But again, as opposed to some other players, he likes to continue peeking and kind of change his angle to a more aggressive stance rather than falling back. And again, this is just different ideology or how they want to play the game. So Magis goes past, he's going to readjust on this angle. You can see the important thing right now is obviously he's holding just the window before, and now he adjusts so he's just holding anyone coming out balcony, and it's a relatively easy kill. Magis has to check a lot of the site. And this next part is where he gets more aggressive, continuing to widen his angle. And again, if you see as he went down there, it is quite interesting. He exposes himself to the graded window, the open window, and the end of the apartments. And again, this is just his playstyle, because you're thinking right now, okay, they're going to be trying to swing out here and deal with me ASAP after I get that first kill into Magis. Obviously, likely Astralis have good timing trying to trade this. So he does swing wide. As you can see, there's no one actually in those windows, so he's not really exposing himself to any extra angles, but he is changing his position, and it's just a more aggressive approach. One, again, I personally don't like to play when it's me playing, but again, as I said, different play styles, people play it very differently. I think it's good to understand other play styles and how some players would like to play this. And then Device does a good job of mopping up. And of course, if it's a video, I have to compliment Astralis at some point within it, because otherwise I feel a little bit dirty just going for NiP. But they did a good job. They won this game. Lekro dropped 50 frags, which was incredibly impressive. But as I said, that's it for this video, guys. I didn't say that already, but it is the end of the video. Thank you guys all for watching, and make sure to subscribe and like the video if you did enjoy this type of content.